Hey, my name is Mr. X, and I like to piss away money. Recently, I did this video right here. If I could do any career in the world, what would it be? And it got me thinking, what if I had a ton of money? What would I do with it? Let's say, what if I had $100,000? Oh, I already have that. Well, what about $1 million? Oh, I have that too. $1 billion. Do I have that? Damn. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Extreme channel. A little bit different video today. We talk about extreme lifestyles, but what would really extreme look like for me? Everyone has had this fantasy, I think, whether you play the lottery or not. What if I won $100 million or $1 billion? You know, and there's always this running joke that everyone's aware of. When Powerball gets to a really high number, more people play. Hey, $50 million isn't worth your time, but $500 million is. But anyway, as a follow-up to that previous video, I got to thinking, what if I really did have unlimited money? Because believe it or not, despite all the money I spend, I don't have unlimited money. I mean, what if I had stupid money, like billions? What would I actually do? And as I said, I've fantasized about this before. I've talked it over with my wife. And some of these may become a reality, but I highly doubt it. However, that's what I wanted to look at today because I think my answers will actually really surprise some of you. And hopefully, if you're the lottery winner someday, you can take some of the tips I'm going to talk about and then also send a little love this way. So let's say tomorrow was Brewster's Millions. And if you haven't seen that, it's an amazing Richard Pryor and John Candy movie where he inherits $30 million, but to get it, he has to spend $3 million in 30 days. I think that's the right amount of money. And he has to have nothing to show for it. It's an awesome, awesome flick. So while now I'm not going to say I have to spend this money like he did in the movie, I still want to talk about what I would do. First thing I would do if I got $1 billion or a large amount of money, I would invest it. Oh, sorry, I forgot the economy we have. No, I wouldn't do that. Although I'm going to come back to that in a few minutes. So first thing, obviously, I still do have a career, I still do work, and a lot of people fantasize how they would quit their job. And I talked about it in that last video. I actually like work. I usually like my jobs, no matter what the job is, because I think a big part of it, not all of it, is how much effort you put into it. And of course, I would keep it a huge secret that I got this money. But one person I would let know, well, I'd probably let my wife know. Man. But I would let my boss know. I would let him know that, hey, I want to get an exit strategy. I'm in no rush. And we would quietly hire my replacement. And I would probably take a good 3 to 6 months to train that person, or as long as they would have me. But I would not be in a rush to quit my job. And a lot of people are surprised by that. But I'll tell you the truth. One of the reasons jobs are so stressful is because we need them. So if you didn't really need your job, I actually think, well, to be honest with you, I know you would perform at a higher level. I think that's one reason I do really good career-wise. Well, I enjoy my job and I really like it, and I don't need it. I will in a few years, don't get me wrong. I don't have enough money to live out the next 30 years of my life. But I think if you take away that stress, most people would put more into it, be more successful. And let's be honest, if you have a horrible day and you know you have $1 billion sitting in the bank, I think you can shrug it off pretty easily. So I'd probably work for another 6 months or so. And honestly, I don't think I would slack. Then once that happens, the first thing I would do is I would announce it to my friends and family. So family, any family. I'd probably draw the line somewhere around my father's cousin's uncle's former roommate who once had a dog. But I'd take all my family. I would take my close friends. So what qualifies as a close friend? That's pretty subjective. Well, I think it's someone I've known a long time. And even if we live states or countries away, we still connect a few times a year. And we would just have a huge party. The huge party would probably be in a vacation venue, whether that's an all-inclusive or maybe a giant cruise ship. I mean, I don't have that many friends and family where we'd have to rent out the whole thing, but I would do all expenses paid for everybody. We'd have an amazing time. And then on that, I think I'd have a meeting with my close family. These are people that probably once lived with me or lived with my wife, children, parents, siblings, and I would let them know that I am paying off every dollar in debt they have, whether it's mortgage or credit card debt. And I know there's some that have zero or little debt. I think that's mostly my parents or my wife's parents, so we would just take care of any expenses they have while they're still here on Earth. All right, so after that huge vacation, I would go back home, and first thing I would do is I would hire a personal chef. If you're a follower of the channel, you guys know that I love to eat and drink. Well, it's hard to stay in shape that way, even though I work out. So I think if I had a personal chef who could make me healthy meals that I actually liked. And I think time is a big factor in that. I think that would be a huge goal. And then I think I'd take about a 6-month break. And during that break, my family and I, we would knock off some bucket list things. I think the first thing we would do is we'd schedule a cruise around the world. We've always wanted to do this. They offer these. They're usually about $15,000 to $30,000 per person. And we probably will do this one day, whether I win $1 billion or not. But you get to see tons of stuff on your bucket list. We are big cruisers. We love to travel in general. And I think this would be amazing, especially for my kids. Usually they take like 30 to 60 days. And then we would start knocking out our bucket list places we wanted to go on vacations. So for example, we go to the Maldives and we do an over-the-water bungalow. And we've done that in Tahiti before, but we do one of the giant ones like this with the slide. Hell, I may even buy one of these, but we would definitely go visit one of those. We'd go to some other places like Egypt and Israel. We'd want to see the Northern Lights. We've never done that before. Head down to Fiji, Iceland, Antarctica. I'd love to do a vacation on a private island where it's just us and maybe some people to wait on us. So we do a bunch of vacations. We figure out how our kids would still incorporate school in that. So about a year after I won all this money, then I'd start really thinking about a permanent future. For sure, 100%, I've talked about it on the channel so many times, we would get a house on the beach somewhere. We love the ocean. This would be like a winter home we would go to. And the reason why I say it'd be a winter home, because we would do a summer home in the mountains somewhere. We live really close to the mountains right now. And to be honest with you, we'd probably keep our current home because we love it so much. But this will kind of shock you. All these would be gone. Now, I'm not saying I would sell them, but definitely get these packaged up and put in storage somewhere. Hold on to the reason why. I'm going to come back to that. But I would eliminate all collectibles from any of these 3 homes, whether it's this one, the one in the mountains, or the one on the ocean. Then what kind of big purchases would you make besides homes? Well, I think there's 2 that would really fancy me. One would be jewelry. So for me, it would be watches. You guys know I'm a big watch collector, as I talked about in this video right here. The other one would be for my wife. She likes jewelry. She has some really expensive stuff. So take care of her on that. But then, of course, I'd want some cars. I've owned some sports cars in the past, Camaros and Corvettes. But I would go all out. I would buy one of the nicest Lamborghinis out there. I've always been a Lamborghini fan since I was 5 years old. McLarens are nice. That's definitely an option. 100% I would get a James Bond car in Aston Martin. Without a doubt. I would buy a recreation of the DeLorean. You know, and all these would be housed in some type of fancy car garage. I don't know which home it would be at, but 100%. I would still get my Cybertruck that I have on order, the Tesla Cybertruck. I know some people hate this, but I love it. And of course, we'd probably throw a monster truck or something like that in there as well. So after all that splurging, I would want to continue working somehow. So I think the first thing I would do is I would set up a statue gallery somewhere. And again, I don't know where it would be. It'd be one of these 3 locations by one of these 3 homes. Probably somewhere in the Caribbean. I think that would be really cool, by the beach home where people could come, charge them. And of course, I'd get the life-size Hulkbuster without a doubt. And I would do life-size stuff. I'd do some of the statues that I have. And again, more of a museum thing, really cheap for people to get in. I wouldn't want to make any profit off this necessarily, but at least enough to keep the lights on. But my big venture would be really simple. I'd want to create something that hasn't been created before. And I would want it to be something I'm passionate about. And some people think this is a joke, but it's not. But I would invest hundreds of millions to figure out a calorie-free alcohol. Whether that is liquor or beer or wine, I think this would be huge, not only for me personally, but I think this would be a $1 trillion idea. Actually, I know it would be. And I know a lot of people say there's certain reasons it can't be done. You know, 50 years ago, everything we're doing today, at one time, someone said it couldn't be done. That would be the next business venture. We'd probably call it Alcohol X or something like that. So some of these things may be plausible. I do want a Lamborghini someday. Who knows? I may be able to figure out calorie-free alcohol, even though I'm not a chemist. I definitely will visit some of those places that I talked about. But it's just kind of fun to talk about this stuff, which is what I want you to do. I want you to throw down in the comments, what are some of the top things you would do if you got $1 billion? Do you disagree with any of my strategies? Would you do it different, and why? Also, read through the other comments. It's really cool to interact with each other. Plus, those comments could still get you a free statue. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones, at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thank you for tuning in for a very different video. Please hit that like button so more people can see this. I think it'll be really fun. Also, if you like stuff like this, extreme, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification. In the meantime, I'll talk to you guys later. Take care of yourself.